Hello, my name is Kyle, and I am a high school competitive dance team coach. I've been coaching for 6 years now, and I've learned a lot along the way, and I wanted to give you some advice as a new coach on how to build your program and be successful. When I took over my program in 2019, the first thing I did was take a huge inventory of everything about the program. And that didn't just mean inventory of my costumes. It meant interviewing some of my seniors. It meant talking to parents. It meant meeting my athletic director and learning more about the program. And the best thing that I did was get the previous coach who had been there for many years on the phone to learn everything I could about how they ran the program, what worked, what didn't work, what advice they had for me, and even some warnings. This is the deep research part of your job. And the more of it you do at the beginning, the more that you learn, the easier your life is going to be down the road. Something that I wish that I was able to embody more quickly when I first started, and something that I hope you will hear loud and clear, is that you are in charge. There are going to be a million voices around you telling you a million different opinions about how you should do what you're doing, the way that it's been done before, the traditions that they demand that you honor, and the processes that they want you to follow. And the reality is that you should listen to all of their opinions because they are valuable, but you ultimately get to decide how you want to run your program. So don't allow the loud voices to sway you away from your own intuitions. You took this job for a reason and you know what you're doing. Make sure you hear me clearly when I say you are in charge of this program. Take inventory of what's come before you and decide what works for you, because otherwise you are not going to enjoy yourself. This is your program. My third tip for you is that team culture is set by you. It is set in the actions that you do. If you want your kids to be on time, then you need to be on time. If you want your kids to work hard, they need to see you working hard in your own capacity. That doesn't mean that you have to be sweating along with them, but they need to know that you're doing your part and that you're putting everything into this, and they will put everything into it too. They can feel your passion. And if you want them to be passionate about this sport, then you have to show your passion for it as well. And that comes through accountability. You build team culture through consistency, through what you praise, through the way you handle conflict, and the energy that you bring to every single practice. Your energy and your attitude need to be predictable. It doesn't feel good when dancers never know what kind of coach they're going to get from one day to the next. Figure out who you are and what you stand for, and then stay consistent to that. You don't need a million rules. Set standards, have values. My fourth tip is that emotional safety for your dancers is a competitive edge. There are a lot of different ways to coach, and I break it down into two big subcategories of the old school way and the new school way. The old school way, of course, is going to be yelling, intimidating your dancers, ranking them, making them feel bad about themselves, and making them work hard through negative reinforcement. In my opinion, this is not the way to lead a team. You are not going to have their buy-in, and they might dance hard for you, but they are going to perpetuate those type of behaviors onto others in the future. And it's not how you lead a program. It's not how you build emotionally intelligent and capable humans. You might be teaching them how to dance, but you are also teaching them how to be adults. Dancers who feel safe in your space are the ones who are going to take risks and work hard. They will lead and they will grow. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't be firm or have high standards. I personally think I have very high standards for my team. But your space has to feel emotionally secure. That is how you get buy in, and that is how you get your dancers to work hard for you. Tip number 5 is that hard conversations are a vital part of this job, and you have to get good at them. It doesn't mean you're not going to be uncomfortable, and it doesn't mean that it's not going to take a while for you to get better at it, but you have to have these conversations. Never avoid a difficult conversation. Difficult conversations are difficult because you care and you're worried about the outcome. But you need to remember that as long as you approach a difficult conversation with the right intentions and approach, how the receiver takes that information and what they do with it is not your problem. Gossip, rumors, parents, athletic directors, fellow coaches, you can't avoid any of it. You have to address it directly. And that doesn't mean you go in blind. Make sure you know what you need to say, make sure you say it in the right way, and make sure to address the problem. I promise you will always feel better on the other side. And sometimes, if it doesn't work out or you don't say the right thing, own up to it, apologize, and do better next time. But never avoid a difficult conversation. A short story about my time with my dance team. I started coaching in September of 2019, which was just a few months before the pandemic hit, and that really threw a curveball into my experience. But I will tell you that when I first started, my senior dancers and their parents, and all of my booster parents, in fact, were not behind me. They were deeply rooted in the idea of tradition, whether that was an actual healthy thing or not. And there was a lot of deconstruction that I had to do when I first took over the program. In fact, I call it nuking the program. And sometimes you have to do that. There came a point where I was not happy, the kids were not happy, and nothing was productive. So before the next set of tryouts, I had a pre-tryout meeting where I told the team that going forward, this was going to be a fully coach-led program, and that if you did not support the direction that I was taking the program, to not come back this next year. I went from about 25 to 30 kids to 16, and that group of 16 was the best cultural year that I had, and it was the first time that we took an award at state. I tell you all of this because I know that coaching is hard. This is not something you do for the money. It's something you do for the passion. It's something you do for the kids. And you are so capable of this. Don't forget why you're doing what you do. And don't forget to ask for help. You cannot do it all. Whether that's choreographing, finding music, looking for costumes, leading warm-up, planning your practices, or any other of the millions of things that you have to do as a dance team coach, you cannot do it alone. So ask for help. And that can start with me. If I didn't cover something that you have a question about, please comment down below or reach out to me. I would be so happy to get on the phone with you and to discuss all things dance team. I have such a deep passion for this sport, and I would love to talk to you about it. If you have more questions about my journey, please reach out. I hope you'll consider following me. I have a lot to offer and a lot more exciting things coming ahead. I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you next time.